Hey, welcome to my study. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to call this room yet, but study kind of feels the most appropriate. Office seems like so official, but study has like a sense of whimsy to it that I kind of like. I've had a lot of ideas recently about just videos I could make or just different creative projects I could do. And I do this thing that I kind of have a tendency to do a lot where I just sit and I think about it and I think about it until I come up with a reason to not do it, like something that may prevent it from being exactly what I want it to be. And it's like, all right, cool, then it's, that was a bad idea. That's not worth pursuing. And I've gotten kind of sick of that. I kind of want to just start making stuff and just make it just to make it and figure it out as I go and kind of disconnect myself from the thought process. Hi, Scooter. Yeah, disconnect myself from the thought process and just act on it. I know I'll figure things out as I go. One of the ideas I had was to do, if we're going to call this the study, was to do studies, where I kind of focus in on certain things that happen in this room, and that could be me sitting down and reading a book. It could be me bringing an idea to fruition, taking some notes. It could be doing some journal entries. Could be me sitting and gaming for a bit. I really don't know, but I just want to, like I said, I just want to start creating, just making stuff just to make it, and there doesn't have to be a reason, and I need to stop telling myself that there does have to be a reason, because that's probably one of the biggest things that's gotten in my own way, is setting up this expectation for myself that nobody else has placed upon me, but just kind of letting that voice in my head win, which I'm sure is something a lot of people can relate to, but that doesn't make it any less of my experience. So I think for this first, if we'll call it a study again, like I said, I don't know what I want to call this room. I don't know what I want to call some of these videos, but I think in study number one, I just kind of want to show you around the study and give you an idea of the space in which I'm going to be creating things. So to kick it off, I'm sitting on the floor kind of right in the middle of the room. Behind me, over this shoulder, you can see there's just a stack of books. And right now, that's all it is. I don't have a proper bookshelf for it. I did at my previous place, but it didn't come with us in the move. So right now, it's just a stack of books. But eventually, I'd love to turn this into, kind of build it up, kind of continue the walls out with some wood and build a bookshelf into this little space. I think it would just be a good use of the area. And then opposite, if you keep going down this way, there's a corner of this room that I think I want to turn into like a record shelf. Put some vinyl over there, put my record player over there, and then I can run the wire from that into our living room so it can hook up to our speakers and everything. But it would kind of get rid of the clutter of a record player in the living room, and it would pretty much pose no issue to be able to play records in our main living area by having it by moving the record player into this room. And I think it would be a cool idea to kind of mirror the design of the bookshelf and the record player, the way they're laid out on the wall. I think it would just look cool. So that's kind of this wall behind me. Over on this wall, that's kind of the outside wall. There's not really anything going on there. Behind the camera, I have my desk set up, which has always kind of been like a little sanctuary for me at the previous place my wife and I lived. I played a lot of video games, and I had it set up in our guest bedroom for a while. My wife got a work from home job, so I moved it into our bedroom and had it set up in the corner there, but it's always just kind of been my little space. So, and I grew to love what it became at our last place. So when we moved in here, I kind of tried to recreate it and adapt it for this room, for this house, but still keep the fundamentals of it the same. And I think I did an okay job. I think there's some more iterations to come, but for now, no complaints. Over to this side of me, I have a closet. This is where I keep our main bedroom. Doesn't have great clothes storage, so I keep my clothes and stuff in here. And I've got a few records up on the wall up here, and then you can kind of see in the video the dresser right here. This was in my wife's family. I can't remember if she said her grandpa had it or made it. I can't remember. But either way, it's just a cool older piece. My wife and I want to refinish it. You can probably see there's some stains on it, and the top has, somebody didn't use a coaster for however many years, so it does need to be refinished, and I'd love to update some of the hardware to kind of just be that similar style, but I think gold would pop really well on it. And then also over here I've got a TV set up, and I've got just a few little knickknacks kind of on this dresser top, but as time goes on, as I continue to just make some changes in this room, I think I want to get rid of the mirror that's attached to the dresser, mount the TV on the wall, kind of fill a little bit more of that wall space, use the top of the dresser as something different. Like I said, once it's refinished, it'll look a lot better, and I can be a little more intentional with the styling of it. Right now it's kind of a catch-all with some intentional use behind it, but that's about it. And then yeah, right in the middle of the room I've got another thing from my wife's grandparents. I've got a big old comfy lazy boy and a little table next to it, and that's where I've been doing a lot of my reading lately. It's just super comfortable having the table next to it. You've got tea, I keep my phone there, I keep a little field notes on me at almost all times, so I keep that there and keep track of what I'm reading and jot any notes down or thoughts that I have. So that's, for the most part, that's the space. That's what I'm working with. I think as there's different iterations of this room, I'll aim to capture what those are and share my thought process and my workflow to just keep making these changes and make this space work as well as it can for me. There's nobody telling me what can and can't be done in here. So I think it'll be important. In and of itself, it will be its own creative endeavor. But I think the important part of a place like this for me is that I come in here and I feel there's expressions of me on the walls and in the styling, and I know my clothes are in here, and it can be really my own space. I can come and sit and read and throw some headphones on and kind of take some time for me, and not really have to worry about much else. And I think having a place that feels curated by me and like curated for me, I think having a space like that really is like a true reflection of me. Part of that is that it's going to be changing. I'm always changing, so if I want a space that is me, then that's always going to be changing. So I think it's tough to come in here and I want it to be all set up and be perfect, but right now I've got boxes in the corners and books in just a pile behind me, not even organized. I don't know, maybe that is an accurate representation of me right now, but we'll continue to just keep making this better, and I'm hoping you guys will come along for the ride. I think that's that. If you're still here, thanks for watching. I hope to see you in a few more.